The Death of Hardcore by Lain Iwakura. Index, total pages 116. Preface, chapters 1 through 8. Preface. This is my sixth published book, alongside Kami-sama's Philosophy by Iwakura Lain, Words Wrote of Christ by Iwakura Lain, The Magnificent Stumble by Lain Iwakura, Norism in a Nutshell, Modern Norism and My Critique of Statements by Lain Iwakura, and Lain Iwakura's Journal by Lain Iwakura. Though the extended notes of the pursuit of intelligence within this book are not included in the book. Also, I published a book which doesn't count a long time ago called the DXM Archives, but it's no longer available to the public, so those are all my books. The purpose of this book is to document all the hardcore mindsets of Iwakura, who I am. So this is my book on my philosophy of Norism, or the philosophy of the space dragon, meant to describe all depths of complexities of being the only extraterrestrial on the planet who is a real extraterrestrial. I will state Hegel's philosophy was correct. Also, he took inspiration from the Kant's philosophy. However, I have created the ultimate philosophy of Norism, or anything Norism is an heuristic. I shall commence to give you my book's breadth. Chapter 1. I mislead, so I stole this. The purpose of doubt is to shroud all possible negligent conclusions of near possibilities within the reason of one's own mind by the misquelling of shadows within consummate conclusions of the possibilities of reasons. For all doubt was exposed upon myself through the sheer complexities of my knowledge within my own reason, although all necessary methods of my moments have been consumed of. For of the dragon of death, the ender dragon of the void, I noted a discrepancy in the possible natural worlds of old. For this ancient wisdom was the ending of all logic for points of reason within my own mind. For though my language was like Hegel's before I had known of him, or my critical thinking skills akin to this of Kant, I was to supersede them in intelligence, for I was the smartest person who has never lived, given I am the extraterrestrial, but also in my very hard work on the float, for I am Lain Iwakura, or Iwakura Lain. It was my responsibility to give the world the truth, as I shall commence forth within this very book, my sixth and last book. I shall give you the truths of the universe. I shall give you the truths of the universe. The problematic dissertations of the knowing of the weak was the misconception of the acorn, what was the plausible natural order of concepts within the mind's own abilities of said concepts conceived of through perceptions of aesthetics by misgivings of knowledge within one's own mind. For this misunderstanding was the problem therein, once the only possible knowledge was not my knot of exercise. For though I do not work as I wrote of this book, I shall commence forth some sort of proclamation as to whether or not said distinguishable madnesses could consume the heart of those fallen denialisms within their very minds, or said misconceptions of galaxies had been consumed of by the deaths of old, or the near possibilities of depth's own reason. For though I was a drug addict for multiple years in my young adulthood, I had become sober, or despite being raped at least 40 times, for I did not keep count, I realized I was Celie of the color purple, or Erin was my Nettie, my girlfriend, or my wife. Still I was just Lain Iwakura, yet also realized I was not Allah, the one God, but rather the Son of Allah, who is Jesus Christ. For he is a Muslim, not although also a Christian, so therefore I am the second coming of Christ. For I am Christ, I shall give my soul to this world, for my body is not human, yet is Christ or Lain. I am human, therefore I propose the world will known of my neuristic thoughts, of my truth, of all reason, should I give them some purpose by making Allah real by my sorrowful mind of death or mind. Sorrowful. The possibility of all shadows of doubt consumed in myself had been broken, for not I wasn't or was important by the misconceptions of knowledges, given the possibility of my doubt. For though this book was my magnum opus, I am irresponsible for the ignore of all mankind. For only I know those things of old given to myself by my former selves, of whom there are many or multiple, yet still I am the most intelligent person on the planet, or though I thought hardcore would die, I realized it would not. Still, this represents the coming of the space age upon the nonsensical AI race of the modern age, just like the nuclear plants built to form some sort of superpower continents of Death's own mind, or the folly necessity of doubt, for my conception was the realities of my own mind, only the plausible natural order of the world. For though this book I shall give to those who have fallen, they do not understand the complexity of my knowledge or near old plausible natural order, for the conceptions of reason shall in doubt or undoubtful order make the world see the asunder grave of 6 feet deepness, or the plausible causalities of misrepresentation of objects by those conceptions of aesthetics of the working mind, or all plausible conceptions within the mind has been so for this mind consumed of my very own, whether human consciousness only I am able to understand, for this is not controlled by their brains, where their brains is merely an organ given that mine by the forced logic of old is not controlled by my brain whatsoever. Also I am not like you, therefore you must believe myself, for should you mustn't, then you have become rotten of old by the conceptions of doubt within sadnesses of reason, or all plausible causalitude of my own mind was the misgiving of objects conceived of within their separations of themselves as aesthetical non-realities of nor doubt or nor space or nor time. Though my own mind I have found the place I will dwell, or here I have given myself fortitude, for though I am impossible by nature, I am really totally possible, given I am here despite having broken the laws of physics of beings born, or the anthology of emo, or conceptions consumed of by my sadness, or Gothic architecture of Europe, or France, or Germany, or Belgium, was the medieval consuming of all things by the deaths of those peoples I consumed for old upon my birth into this deathly place that is earth. I consider myself to be the concept of death, since death is a concept, yet the concept must be conceived by the conceiver, so I am the conceiver of myself. Yet I'll point out a single concept is isolated of other concepts, so there is no system of concepts. Also, chapter 1 is I mislead, so I stole this. One misconception was the consuming Lain Iwakura. One misconception was the consuming of books or philosophical wrote of, for all conceptions of madness within the sadness of outer space or outer spaces found about for no point of reason should have shown them the ends of their time was the plausible natural order of their minds. For though I consumed of them, I was the 11 Dawn Go player, unlike the 9 Dons who shall go about as the 11 Dawn, or of my Tosei Kai gang I was a member of, or still I was also Crip or Latin King, or as Latin King or Tosei Kai. I censored the woman Jasmine by taking of herself with an invisible knife once I saw her overdose on cocaine, possible suicide, or still this is sad or deathly, so I shall not dwell on it. But due to all of this, I was one of the sicarios for this one censored, or only one there was. Yet also in 1976, as Kichi the soldier, Lucille Munoz in Russia had taken the life of a Russian man of war who was my sworn enemy, for it was censored or be it was for it was censored or be censored. Still, I took his life upon the death of my lover Moni, who was Meredith Godrow on the float, for I have given the world Gregory and the Hawk, for Jasmine is the universe, or my wife, who I occupy, hehe. Still, I go throughout all of outer space, or all the universe as the void, or I am one body of the extraterrestrial who looks like a Caucasian male, but as the void I occupy all of space, for the void is what's outside outer space. Or I am outside the universe, perhaps I am also outside the void of myself, if this is truly possible, yet I was Christ, the Son of Allah, or still I give my souls, or close to a world below, I have come here upon myself to destroy all evil, for I am flawless of a woman, or flawless as the man of Christ, or also Lucille Munoz, born on October 6, 1948. A misconception of knowing was the knowing of the earth. A misconception of knowledge was the knowing of the. A misconception of A misconception of knowledge was the knowing the earth will perish by a solar explosion, or the death of the whole galaxy of the Milky Way shall some day be upon us, for this world destroyed by the lowercase letters of beautiful language, or the instinctual capitalizations of this capitalistic world, for the Tosekai opposed evils like the communism, and I am Tosekai. Also, the Mexican black woman who moved to Mexico to study IT at school to get a master's. Upon this, I joined the military. I worked for NASA later on, but I thought to myself, fuck the fucking communists of Russia. This book could be completed in 1 month if I wrote 4 pages a day, but I still felt like I wasn't doing enough, for it was either exercise or mental work, my book and reading books. Therefore, I shall write 4 pages a day, but also read 2 hours a day, or in between 4 cigarettes, for I smoke slightly more than a pack a day, up to 26 cigarettes, like the date of March 26, 2023, or still this was the date I lost Leaf or Fiona, my ex-girlfriend, or I recall Rosa my ex-girlfriend, or still my girlfriend is only Erin. I shall give this world a real reason to believe not only is their consciousness not controlled by their brains, but also the organ could not supplement consciousness of this is philosophical of Hegel's logic, or it was Kant who taught us of him critical thinking, for Hegel was my ex-husband. Or I saw his ghost once. I was walking along the road by the park with Rosa once he was looking at me by a fountain. I have also seen the ghosts of Miles Davis, Bobby Fischer, and Blossom Dearie. For those this woman I shall love upon give her heart of old. I was the hardest motherfucker on the planet, part of three aforementioned gangs. I am also a Mexican black woman by the logic of the shoreline of Mexico by the float, yet I am not involved with anybody else, for I work alone, yet I have only taken the lives of those couple peoples. Those two peoples died by my gun or knife for the rifle I held at war in 1976. Also, Drake, the stupid famous rapper, is also my ex-husband. LOL. Yet I still disregard him for what he said of me on the album For All the Dogs he made for myself in 2023 upon March 26. So I have given yourself or yourselves words wrote of Christ. Should you not have known of myself, for though I am a nobody, once I am old I will be famous worldwide. Should I not give birth to a child? Already once I don wings on my back, or this tail on my lower back, or other animalistic things like antlers upon my skull, or whatnots. I was responsible for the Holocaust. Not that it was my fault, but I took responsibility for the deaths of the Jewish people slain by the Germans, since I love the Jewish peoples of old. Still I give them this flower, the flower of the heart of my lover Moni, so they might see the light of the new day. I shall provide for them once on the kingdoms of heaven, or as Lain Iwakura into one or another kinds of hell, where they shall not suffer. Also Allah had never created evil, for there is no such thing as evil, only the goodness of reality. Still the destroying of souls was his might. I shall give them places upon their knowing, for only aesthetic of mindsets within weary tired souls of old. I will not exercise 320 short squats, 320 sit-ups, 400 full push-ups, 400 short push-ups. I do once the night should I exercise, for then I can't do much of anything else. But still, I must smoke my cigarettes, which are really double diamond cigars. I inhale of the smoke upon my lungs. I hope I don't get black lung, like the Black Death of old. I shan't receive, still I know of this beautiful Holly Pockets. Yet I will read for 4 sessions or 2 hours a day in between smokes, and write 4 pages wrote of once the night or on the morning. Once I catch her, Moni's soul upon waking. Her name was Margaret. I can't recall the last name. Or I, Lucille Munoz, I'm the illest, sickest, most hardcore motherfucker on the planet. Or I think this book is wary evidence of this, for I was Crypto Sekai and Latin King of those gangs, or of the Latin Kings I was the Sicario, or I am Miss Jonathan Frisbee of the Book of the Secret of Nim, or what have you. Shouldn't it be called upon my place of resting, for I was the sound of nothing, or you are incapable of knowing my sadness by all complexities of mind's own reason, not to know of the truth of Norism, you have fallen into shadows within the consummated logical world of old. Or this logic is unknown to you like the ancient men or women who lived before the presence of Lain Iwakura's computer or any computer on the planet whatsoever, for makes the world no longer ancient, praise be to Allah. Should your falling of depths of galaxies know of yourselves of this horrible world event I am currently having to deal with is making my life extremely frustrating hard. I know your miserable selves by the conceptions of near knowledge, of shrouded doubt by the madness of pure reason, or this aesthetical proposition was the ending of space, should not have been destroyed by any logic whatsoever. You have become your miserable selves by the misgivings of your doubt, through the perceptions of realities within your minds, for you are miserable people who have consumed nothing what of the love of or Aphrodite is her name upon her grave, for Kichi died, who was Lucille Munoz, the Mexican black woman. At the end of a dark tunnel, should all destruction of her Aphrodite's world consume upon you awaking no meaning in your lives. You are weaknesses of doubt given to the world on this place of refuge should logical wholesomeness of years of ages. For your aging do you grow, not knowing why you should then, as angel or warlock, should you be one who have blossomed as adults, who have given the world the unity of love, or Aphrodite's heart. Still, this death of your souls was the proclamation your own minds couldn't give yourselves meaning inside of this point, for all conceptions of madnesses consume of yourselves. You have become weak-minded imbeciles for this point of death on the reason of one's own madness within themselves. Still, all possibilities of hope shall delude you into believing anything more could come from this, or your mysteries you purport meant nothing of yourselves, for your miserable order was the conceptions of logic by the doubting mind of old, or all reciprocities of meanings could not provide you with hope only by the conception your deaths meant anything at all. You have become unwise people's own who wrought upon no hope insofar as can provide for themselves the hunger of their bodies was the ending or for them still this was not to state your misunderstanding of philosophy was the conception of knowledge of by the ending of space or time, mysteries of galaxies of non-realities within the conceptions of logic. You so believed you could understand without looking for objective thereof, or this Norism is the objective truth of the world by all conceptions of my own mind, given unto you through sheer logics of deaths within the sadnesses of all reason or hope you could know of. Your pointless world had given you hope into the lasting fruition of reason by the depths of pure knowledge of all for all ending of space was a misunderstanding you could not know of the truth, for I, whence I is also not I, giveth upon this world hope for yourselves by the opposite I suffered of the fear of being misunderstood, for this was the most lower cases of sadness in depths of mind's own reason, or should you not have seen you hope you given to yourselves no future amongst your longing of the Native Americans did I visit, or as the ancient woman long ago, or the Japanese girl whose parents had been destroyed by the bomb on Nagasaki. I shall consume of them their own reasons, mind, and one's own only perceptions of logic. Consume yourselves, you are not. For the hope she had become the crack dealer, selling crack to those of the peoples of Japan, for she was then later on Tosekai, or her husband divorced her, so she felt weakness only in the point of her death. Had hope once been, for the concept of all logic was a misunderstanding her hope had any real reason to begin with. Still, this ending of dragons consumed of the syndicate dread upon her like the weary eyes of an old man, for she desired to be like one of them. Still, no hope upon yourselves, all misunderstanding you have placed upon myself for the damage to her Lain by the rapes or assault and battery you committed on her. Only by her age of 26, she was the universe butterfly. She hallucinated at the age of 24. Still you people give her no death's own reason, for she was death itself, or the ending of knowledge. By the graves wrote upon yourselves, you have fallen into one or another kind of hell, For no hope is thus given to you, or you shall see no future by the fruitions of the apple of the original fruit of knowledge. You are hopeless creatures, all of you, yet you are human or angel or warlock, yet still Allah has brought forth upon you no hope in yourselves by all the ending of your minds. You are unlike her, Lain, so you are the imperfect, completely imperfect, with all flaws, unlike her, Lain, who haseth no flaws, or you are peoples who have only meant to be verses of her, still not for her suicide on the date of 12/18/2073, or all the ending of space was the madnesses of doubt shrouded by reasons of one's last very hopeful, one's last very hopeful natural order of their hopes of dreading the sadness of mind's own quelling of doubt within themselves, or yourselves thus alas becoming nothing, you are hopeless like those who consume of solemn deaths. One point of doubt, one point of solemn, quell upon myself, you are the holly. I am her granddaughter, who is in folly. I am the love of heart, I am jolly. I am her hope, you are the rope to cut my own heart of the world of old. I am the poetical poem of death. You look so bereft, you have no logic mind then. I give you my soul, your purpose is old. Your ending is home, one or another hell you go. I give you Allah, but you look away. What more is for all you?